Coming up on the Suze Orman Show. She gave her money, she gave her heart, she gave her soul to her husband. You're paying for his rent, you're paying for all of these things and whatever, and then we find out that this man is what? Say the word.
A liar.
And you ask me, can I afford it?
I would like to buy a toilet, a state-of-the-art toilet, I should say.
Do you think I should approve you for a $3,200 toilet? Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching the Suze Orman Show. It's Christmas, about a week away. Are you excited? I am. I love Christmas. I love Hanukkah. I love all the holidays. But I have a gift for all of you. Now, it might not be a gift that you want, but it's one that you need. And it's the gift of understanding. What do I mean when I talk about an 8% annual average rate of return? What is the difference between an annual average rate of return and an interest rate? So many times we get emails from all of you going, Suze, I don't understand. I can't get 8% anywhere, and you keep using that in your figuring out if somebody can retire, can they afford their lifestyle, whatever it may be. So listen up. Because once you understand this, it will be a gift to you so that you know what to do with your money. An annual average rate of return is very simple. That is what I use when you take money and you invest it. And it's invested over a long period of time. Let's say it's invested over a 10, 20, 30-year period of time. Some years on that investment, maybe you'll make 20%. Some years, maybe you'll lose 30%, but over a long period of time, you should average on an annual rate about 8%, in my opinion. Now, a lot of you are going, too high, Suze, too high. All right, so what I have now done is to figure out things for all of you on my How Am I Doing segment and other things. I'm starting to use a 4% annual average rate of return. What that means is simple. Over a long period of time, again, it will go up 1 year, down 1 year, but over 10, 20, or 30 years, you should average about 4% a year. Now, when I'm talking about interest rates, meaning you put money into an account and it earns 1% interest for you, that's actual interest. So you're not leaving there for a long time, or even if you are, it's only going to earn what the banks, the CDs, they pay you. So there is a difference, everybody, between interest that you earn and an annual average rate of return. Interest is for safe money, doesn't fluctuate. Annual average rate of return is for money that you invest, and it will fluctuate. Now do you get it? Uh-huh. Good. I'm going one-on-one tonight with Heather, coming to us from San Antonio, Texas. Now, everybody that's watching, I want you to sit back. I want you to watch this very closely, because this is a story that's not only an emotional heartbreak, it's a financial heartbreak as well. Heather is 39. When Heather was 37, Heather had $20,000 in a savings account. She had a home, she had a car that she owned, she had no credit card debt, money in a retirement account. And now here we are, just 2 years later. She is underwater in a car, she has absolutely no savings, she has $30,000 in credit card debt, and that just kind of scratches the surface of what's really going on. Heather, number one, welcome to the Suze Orman Show.
Thank you, Suze.
What happened?
Well, I met a man and thought that I fell in love with him. He fell in love with me. It all seemed just so wonderful. And, he seemed like a great guy who was a little bit down on his luck, had some hard times, and was trying to get his life back on track. So I thought that I was helping him as we were engaged and as we were getting married. He wanted to go back to school, finish his doctorate degree, etc. And that cost money. He did not have a job. And I thought, well, I'm going to put him through school, and then we're going to have a wonderful life together and be in love. And he was very charming and affectionate towards me, and I really felt like this was, you know, the missing piece in my life, because I had everything together financially and in my career and with my daughter, but I did not have somebody to spend my life with, and I really wanted that. And
So I have to ask you, before we go into detail about your ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband, and we have talked to him, by the way, and I'll get into that in a second, but obviously you were married before this, is that correct?
yes, I was.
What happened to that relationship?
Well, he was a really nice guy. He was
Just like this guy.
He was kind of the opposite of this guy. He had himself together, a good job, you know, good Christian person. I knew that we would be just fine as far as having our financial life and a house and family. But he was not very affectionate.
All right, so you were lacking something there.
I was.
So listen closely to me now. What you were lacking there wasn't money, wasn't responsibility, it was affection and what you needed. So now you meet somebody who doesn't have money, but that doesn't matter because you're going to be okay. You're strong. He's going for a PhD. He's got all this stuff. He's got scholarships. He's got all these things going for himself. But what he's giving you is affection, so you went for lust. You did, let's be honest here. You went for the affection of a person and you thought that was enough. So you did not bother to do what Suze Orman has always said. You didn't bother to get financially intimate with him at all. You chose to be personally intimate, but not financially intimate. So you never checked his FICO scores. You never checked what he really had, right?
Suze, I did.
And
we did look at his credit report. It was really bad. But he had explanations for everything on there.
everybody, don't go anywhere because you haven't heard anything yet. I am telling you, wait till we're about to unveil the truth behind this man. But before we unveil the truth, I just want you all to know where you met this man.
I met him through a dating service.
How much of a dating service? What did it cost you to be part of this dating service?
It cost about $7,400.
Tell everybody what happened. You're with this affectionate man. You love being with him. You're paying for his rent. You're paying for all of these things and whatever. And then we find out that this man is what? Say the word.
A liar.
A liar. And he, when we talk to him, even agrees that he was a liar. Tell everybody what he lied to you about.
Well, there were a lot of things.
List them.
The main one was that he had told me he had a master's degree, which he did not have. He said he was working on a PhD. He was not.
Keep going.
He started school when we were engaged, did not finish even the first semester.
Keep going.
Continued to tell me that he was in school, let me marry him, start a business for him, buy him a car, and many other things. It was all a lie.
So it was all a lie.
It was all a lie.
Want to hear what's so great? Our producers, because you know, we just don't have people come on to the Suze Orman Show and accuse their ex-husband of all of these things. We have to talk to the ex-husband or ex-husband-to-be. He agreed. He said, yeah, I lied to her. He agreed with almost everything that you said about him. While you were married to him for those past 2 years, did you ever have an inkling? Did you ever think that something wasn't right, but you were so attached to the affection that you just took that little voice that I always say to all of us we need to listen to, and did you just squash it because you wanted the affection?
Suze, I knew that stuff he was telling me did not make sense. But we were married. He told me every day how much he loved me, how I was a gift from God to him. And, you know, I took everything very seriously in that sense. You know, I did not want to get divorced again.
Have you learned a good lesson?
I have learned a really big lesson.
And can you just tell me what that is before I now give you a financial plan as to how to turn your life around?
Well, I think what I'm taking away from this is that when you are going to look for someone to spend your life with, you really need the whole package. Someone who is responsible and going to be a good life partner for you in the financial and family sense, but also someone who is affectionate, because I had one and then I had the other, but I've never had both.
Well, guess what? Third time is the charm. So here's the thing. You currently are still paying on a car that he has.
Yes.
You're paying the insurance on that car. You are paying a medical bill for him, and you owe $1,000 in back taxes on a business that you started with him.
Yes.
These are all things, when you write these checks for him, every single month when you do that, can you tell me the emotion that comes up when you do it?
I am so angry, I can't even tell you.
We need to remove the element of anger. He currently is driving the car. Why isn't that you cannot just have somebody go, pick it up, and bring it to your house, since it's your car?
You're right.
All right, if I'm right, I want you to do that, because you now need to take your power back. So, girlfriend, let's go through your power steps. Listen to me closely. You have a little bit of money in your emergency fund, and I know that you're holding on to that. I want you to get into your power. The way you do it is you get rid of the anger that makes you powerless. You owe $1,000 to the IRS. I want you to take the money out of your emergency fund, and I want you to pay that off. I also want you to pay the $450 that you currently owe on a medical bill for him. Those bills are now out of the way. You are to get your car back. I don't care. It is your car. It is in your name. Are you kidding me? If it's sitting there, you have the legal right to call a tow truck, have them go there and pick up your car and bring it back to wherever you want it to be, even if it's not at your house. You are then going to sell it. When you get him off your health insurance goes down to only $15 a month versus $200 and some odd dollars a month. When you stop making the car payment, we're another $200 a month there. When you stop paying the insurance on the car, we have all this money that's about to be freed up. So now you have saved $600 a month. If you add that to your monthly excess that you currently have, that's $1,000 a month. Then you will add that $1,000 to the $1,200 that you're currently paying towards your credit cards to make it a total of $2,200 a month towards your credit cards. If you do that in 15 months, in less than a year and a half, in 15 months, you will be out of credit card debt. After that, you will then take that $2,200 a month and you will simply save it. So in just 4 to 5 months, you will have your 8-month emergency fund, because your expenses are only going to be about $2,500 a month. As soon as you have your 8-month emergency fund, you are then going to take $2,000 and you're going to max out your Roth IRA and fully fund your 401k. Once you've done that, you will have another $1,000 that you're going to put into an education 529 plan for your daughter. You will have approximately $50,000 saved when she goes to college. You are going to continue to save that $1,000 a month for the 4 years that she goes. So when it's all said and done, you're going to be able to give her about $100 and something thousand for her to go to school with. Then, as you go on, here's what your life looks like at the age of 55. You are going to have about $600,000 in a retirement account. Your daughter will have gone to school. You will own your house outright. You will have money. How do you feel right now? For the first time in 2 years, how do you really feel?
I feel powerful, Susie.
Right here and right now, the gift that you are giving yourself for the holiday season is you. From this day forward, you are going to stand in the truth. So how was that, Heather?
It was unbelievable, Susie.
Right. Can you tell me what was the most unbelievable thing about it?
You just laid it all out there like that, and I just was listening and going, oh my goodness, I never really thought, I mean, in my mind, it was going to take me years to get out of this, and it was going to be pretty bleak.
Honey, bam, 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 bam. Are you kidding? You were powerful before you met him. You were doing great before you met him. You have not changed, Heather. Your circumstances did, but you yourself did not change. You just have to go back to the truth of who Heather is and will always be. There is serious light at the end of this financial tunnel.
Thank you.
I know what you want to know. I know what you want to know. You want to know, how do you ask all your friends and family to give you money and not things, right?
Exactly.
And later, when wanting something, ask me, can I afford it?
I want to have gastric bypass. I'm 24 years old and 430 pounds, and I feel like I need this operation now before it gets any worse.
I was confused on this one, so I actually consulted my very good friend via email, Jillian Michaels of The Biggest Loser.
Wow.
Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Let's go to California, and Karen, you are on the air.
Hi, Susie. Thank you for taking my call.
Anytime.
Well, my husband was unemployed and finally was offered a great job. The only problem is that it's 1,000 miles away from where we live.
Yeah.
And I have been working for the same place for 20 years, and he wants me to quit my job and follow him. But I'm really scared at this time of my life to give up a job that has a defined benefit pension.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I want to go with him, of course, and but I'm just a little nervous. I'm torn about this.
All right, how long have you been married to your husband?
23 years.
And you love him, right?
Of course, I want to be with him.
Forever. And how much are you currently making a year?
$80,000.
How much is the new job that's 1,000 miles away? How much will that job be paying him?
About $80,000.
All right, so let me get this right. He wants you to give up a job that has been secure and been there forever. That's $80,000 a year. So now you go from $80,000 to zero, because we don't know if you move 1,000 miles away if you're going to get another job, and even if you do, and this is true for him as well. Do you know, I just have to say this, do you know how many people have called into the Suze Orman Show? They picked up and they moved miles away for a new job. They get there 1 or 2 months and then they're let go. Now they have the expense of they moved, they did this, they did that, they can't find another job there, and now they don't know what to do. So now they have the cost of moving. They have the cost of figuring out where they should live and everything like that. Are you kidding me? Now, I get that he wants to work, but you are not to give up your job of an equal pay where you have a defined benefit and you know that they're going to keep you on. There's loyalty there. Isn't that right, my dear Karen?
Yes, it is.
For an uncertainty just because he got another job. He should turn that job down and he should stay where he is to figure out how does he find a job that's realistic where you are. If he needs to go there and take the job, then he's going to have to go without you. If he still has the job, a year from now or two, you can figure it out, but you are not giving up your job until we know what he's got for sure, and for sure means a few years from now. Mary in New York, you are on the show. Go for it.
Hi, Suze. Thank you so much for taking my question. My fiance and I are ready to get married, and between the two of us, though, we have over $320,000 in graduate school student loan debt.
Whoa! Go on.
On paper, we look great. We both work for large publicly traded firms. Our jobs both have a lot of upward mobility, but the ratio of our gross pay to our monthly debt payments is staggering, and things are pretty tight. So we've elected to forego an engagement ring. We're not doing a lavish wedding ceremony, but several of my family members have asked where you two registered. Now, the last thing we need is stuff. We're both over 30. We've had a life.
I know what you want to know. I know what you want to know. You want to know, how do you ask all your friends and family to give you money and not things, right?
Exactly. If they want to give us something, we think that's great, and we'd appreciate it, but we just don't need, 20 toasters to go make up a wish list online of things that we don't really want in the first place.
Right. So, you know what? You might want to be creative about this. Post your own little, bridal registry and call it the student loan debt payoff or whatever it may be. And you can say, for every $100 you give us, it will pay off this percentage of the student loan debt. And that is what we would really love for our gift or whatever it may be that you want. But let them see what percentage of your future do they really want to be a part of. I have to tell you, if I went on a thing like that and I saw, if I give 100, it's 0.5%. If I give 500, it's this percent. I would go, I'd like to help them with 10% of their student loan debt. You never know what could happen. Be creative, make it fun. When they click on it, have a little balloon come up and pop and go, yay, I'm that much more financially free. Make it fun so that it's like a game for them. And then at the wedding, display your diplomas and go, thank you so much, everybody, for helping us do this. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
We saw a painting in a gallery that just absolutely took our breath away.
This one's gonna be hard for me. Which way will I go? Also,
I would like to buy a toilet, a state-of-the-art toilet, I should say.
you do know, my dear Tim, there are people at home right now going, what is it possible that a toilet can do for $3,200? I bet I see that somewhere on TV, what I just did. What do you want to buy?
I would like to take my son on a Disney cruise.
Gastric bypass.
A state-of-the-art toilet.
Yes, the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in, you tell me what it is that you want to buy, and I tell you if you can afford it or not. We have some doozies for you tonight. Are you ready? Let's do it. Tim, what do you want to buy?
Well, Susie, thank you for taking my call.
Anytime.
I would like to buy a toilet, a state-of-the-art toilet, I should say.
Have you personally tried this toilet out?
Actually, I have. I was in Japan a couple of years ago, and that's where I was first introduced to it, and I thought, wow, this is kind of fantastic, and I would like something in my home. And I thought about it for a couple of years, and now I'm ready to go for it, but only if you say so, Susie.
$3,200 for the state-of-the-art toilet. You do know, my dear Tim, there are people at home right now going, what is it possible that a toilet can do for $3,200? It heats up, it washes, right?
It does.
It goes up and down, I know. And I'm not going to tell you if I have one or not, but I most certainly have used them, and I have to tell you, they feel good. Boyfriend, show me the money.
Okay, Susie. Well, I have $7,000 in take-home pay. My expenses are $4,500 a month. My debt is $205,000, 30-year fixed at 3.875. And I have savings in the amount of $80,000 in liquid and $1.1 million in retirement. And I would say, Susie, I do have about $18,000 in a cigarette account, which when I used to smoke cigarettes, I just now put the money in an account. And I've never used it for anything, so I thought this might be a good bet for that.
So you want to burn up your little tushy, so to speak, but they're going to say, I can't say that on air. Maybe they'll leave it in, maybe they won't. We'll see what happens. Boyfriend, how are you going to pay for this? Out of the cigarette account?
I look at the cigarette account, or I can simply save up for it out of my savings cash flow for a couple of months.
Do you think I should approve you for a $3,200 toilet?
Absolutely. You know, it's not my grandparents or our grandparents' kind of a toilet or outhouse. You know, it's something I could share with friends and family, and it'll be something that'll be a nice compliment as I get older.
There you go. So guess what? I know you think that I should approve you, but I think I should as well. You're approved because you have the money. By the way, you're going to love that toilet. All right, Stephen, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Stephen.
Well, my partner and I were on vacation in Vancouver 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And we saw a painting in a gallery that just absolutely took our breath away. We went into the gallery. We spent a while speaking with the artist and getting to know her and her inspiration behind the piece. And now that we're home, we would love to have it here in our home with us so we can enjoy it every day. We want to know if we can afford it.
Yeah, all right. $3,200 for the painting. You fell in love with it. You met the artist. The artist is selling it through a gallery. Is that correct?
Yes, she's selling it out of her studio.
Out of her studio. So, and you, oh, this one's going to be hard for me. Which way will I go here? But I won't know until you show me the money.
Okay, well, we have a take-home of $7,142.
Yeah.
We have expenses of $3,368.
Great.
No debt.
Yes.
We have $54,000 in liquid savings and $68,000 in retirement.
All right, and you are 30 years of age.
Yes.
Your partner is how old?
43.
43. And everything that you're showing me on screen is jointly everything that the two of you have together. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So here's what I think. I know you love this art. I know this is something that you really want. Now everybody at home is going, is she leading us astray? Is she going to deny? Is she going to approve? Where is Suze Orman going with this? Here's where I'm going. I'm playing it straight with your boyfriend. You're denied.
No.
But let me tell you why. You don't have any life insurance. You yourself only have $10,000 in a retirement account. You don't have things set up to really protect you. And as you get older as a joint unit, there isn't enough money in joint retirement accounts. I know you would really enjoy looking at this piece of art, but I'm here to tell you, you would enjoy a life of where you have money when you are older so that you can walk around Vancouver and anywhere you want to look at any of the art that you want. You just don't have the money. Kyle, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Big fan.
Oh, thanks, Kyle.
I want to have gastric bypass. I'm 24 years old and 430 pounds, and over the past 3 years, I spent $10,000 trying to lose weight. I've lost some weight and done the whole roller coaster of up and down, and I feel like I need this operation now before it gets any worse. I'm unable to get health insurance, so I'm going to have to pay for this one myself. The surgery is going to cost $30,000 for everything for the entire year, and I want to know, can I afford it?
Oh, Kyle, my little baby doll, 430 pounds. You know, obviously, I go through all the paperwork, and I already know if I'm going to approve or deny you, because it's not just what you're showing everybody on screen. We actually get a thick, you know, as you know, because you had to fill it out, you know, everything about you. But I was confused on this one, so I actually consulted my very good friend via email, Jillian Michaels of The Biggest Loser.
Wow.
And I asked her a question. This was very late last night. This was about midnight last night that I was doing this. Jillian, but of course she's West Coast, I'm East Coast, so it wasn't so late for her. And I asked her a question, which was, do some of the contestants on The Biggest Loser, have they gone through gastric bypass surgery? And she said, yes, Susie, many of them have, and they've gained the weight back. She personally would deny you. But for me to answer you, financially speaking, you need to show me the money.
All right, Susie. I take home $5,300 a month.
Yep.
I have expenses of $3,823 a month. I have 2 adjustable rate mortgages for a total of $116,000. I have $30,000 in student loans. I have a $19,000 car loan. I have $14,000 in liquid savings. I have $300,000 in investments, and I have only $757 in retirement.
Kyle, right? I told you this one is a hard one because I get this is something that you really want to do. I get this is something that you think is where it is. But again, Suze Orman answers, can you afford it or not? So in this particular situation, you have been denied.
Wow.
I know. And the reason that you are denied, and I'm taking this seriously, Kyle, you have no idea how seriously the research I did on this one is this. If you can save $10,000 to $15,000 more in an emergency fund, then, and you still want to do it, go ahead. But right here today, you don't quite have enough money. You owe a lot of money, and the $300,000 that you have in investments is your business, and to liquidate a lot of it, you'd kind of have to sell the business. You can sell shares of it and things like that. You'd have to take out another loan. I know you've worked on this. I'm asking you to save another $10,000 or $15,000, and when you get there, then do it. I wouldn't be doing it now if I were you. Mindy, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I would like to take my son on a Disney cruise this next summer.
Your son on a Disney cruise, just between you and me. Do you want to go too?
Yes, I do.
I know. I have to tell you, I want to go on a Disney cruise. I have little nieces and nephews, and I always am saying to KT, let's take them on a Disney cruise. And they're always like, I don't think so, Aunt Suze. I'm going, oh, please, don't you want to go on a Disney cruise? Because I would love to go. So if your little son doesn't want to go with you, maybe I'll join you. Show me the money, girlfriend.
Okay, well, our income, we have $25,000 a month take home.
Yeah.
Our expenses are $13,000.
Yeah.
Our debt is just a mortgage at $601,000, a 30-year fix.
Yeah.
And our savings are $47,000 liquid, $75,000 in investments, and $169,000 in retirement.
And how are you going to pay for this?
Cash.
Cash. Approved. And I'll go tell them all I said, okay, Susie loves you. Oh, you lucky little devil, you. Jenny, what do you want to buy?
I want to buy a pottery barn bunk bed for my 1-year-old son's empty room.
And so a bunk bed. Look at it there, $1,299 from Pottery Barn. It kind of looks good, doesn't it? See, I would love something like that. I would jump from the top to the bottom. I would bust it if I were a little kid, but that's not the point here.
Yes, and because I'm a huge fan of them, too.
You are. All right. Show me the money, sweetheart.
Okay, our combined income is $7,528.
Yes.
Our expenses is $4,454 a month.
Yeah.
Our debt is $323,000 30-year fixed, $36,000 in student loans, $40,000 in car loans, $1,000 in credit card at 0%, savings $42,000 in liquid, and $37,000 in retirement.
And you are 28 years of age, yes?
Yes.
Student loan, car loan, credit card debt. You are, everybody knows this one. This one's easy. You are approved.
Yes.
And the reason you're approved is everybody's sitting there in shock. I know you have the $1,000 of credit card debt because it's at a 0% interest rate. You're able to afford everything else. You have more than an 8-month emergency fund. You're 28 years of age. Oh, go and buy that bunk bed. Want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? It's easy. All you have to do is go to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and you'll find the information you need to know there to come and play with me right here. Up next, Rebecca asked me, Susie,
How are we doing?
if you keep going like you're going, there is no way you would be able to retire. But I'm going to show you your way to an A. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. This is the How Am I Doing section of the Suze Orman Show, which is a very important section. Why is that? Because this is where you realize, are you on track to meet your goals? You may think you're doing just fine, but are you? Let's find out tonight. Rebecca wants to know, Susie, how am I doing?
Hi, Susie. My husband is 32 and I'm 31. For 2 weeks in a row, we watched you tell couples they didn't have enough to retire at 55.
Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this.
It gave us a real jolt because that's what we plan to do. Though we love to travel, we're aggressively paying down our student loans and home. But are we saving enough? Susie, how are we doing?
Rebecca, I'm going to imitate you. I'm going to imitate you in terms of how you think you're doing. Let me ask you this. Do you think you're doing okay?
I think we're doing okay, but I'm not sure that we're saving enough.
And before watching the 2 segments on the Suze Orman Show where I told people they weren't, did you think you were saving enough?
Yeah, I thought we were on the right track, but now I'm not so sure.
All right, so if you were going to give yourself a grade, because your goal here, and we're grading this, your ability to be able to retire at the age of 55, you are currently 31. So essentially, your husband is 32. So essentially, 24 years from now, grade yourself on if you think you're going to be able to retire or not. What do you think you'd give yourself?
I'd say a B minus.
B minus. Let's look at the numbers. Rebecca and Christopher, here's what they have going. Great income, $9,600 a month. Expenses of $7,200 a month. By the way, everybody, that is after tax income that you are looking at. They have $96,000 in a retirement account. $51,000 in an emergency fund, no investments. Their home is worth $247,000. They have $70,000 of consumer debt. They have $227,000 of mortgage debt. So they owe totally about $300,000. So they have about $100,000 net worth, and they want to retire at the age of 55. Listen, there's many things that you're doing pretty great. I gave you an A in your FICO scores, A on debt, because given what it is and what you've got going, you're just fine. So you're doing a few things right. You're doing absolutely a few things wrong. You don't have a trust. You don't have enough money in retirement. You really don't have enough money in insurance. So those are things, I'd give you a D in those areas, believe it or not. But overall, what would be the grade that I would give you in terms of you meeting your needs to retire at 55? Currently, the way that you're going, you gave yourself a B minus. I'm giving you a D minus. Oh. Oh, so it was really good that you called into the Suze Orman Show, because if you keep going like you're going, there is no way you would be able to retire. But I'm going to show you your way to an A. Are you ready to take notes, girlfriend?
I am.
All right, here we go. Number one. You need to have your home paid off by the time you are 55. Now, as I'm speaking to you, interest rates are so low, it's not even funny. You could easily refinance your home and get 3.75%. Why? Because you have the income, you have money, you have equity somewhat in this house, as well as you have good FICO scores. So let's take advantage of it. If you refinanced to pay off this house in a 24-year period of time, you would actually save $900 a month over what you are currently paying right now. If you took that extra $900 a month and you literally increased your 401k contributions, currently you and your husband are putting in about $500 a month each. If you increase your 401k contributions to $1,000 a month each, you continue to fund your Roth IRA just like you're doing. Right now, you have a SEP IRA and an IRA rollover. I asked you to consult a CPA to see if it makes sense if you convert those to a Roth IRA. I personally feel you should convert them, but I would check with a certified public accountant before I did so. If you continue to do all that, and you take the $2,000 a month right now that you have extra with your monthly payments from your expenses to your income, and you start to invest it right now. You can invest them in bonds. You can start to save it, do zero coupon bonds, do all of these things. This is what your life will look like when you are 55. You will have $575,000 in your Roth. You will have $106,000 between your SEP IRA and your traditional IRA that hopefully now will be a Roth conversion account. You will have $1.3 million in your 401k plan, and you will have $1 million in investments from the $2,000 a month. Now that will give you a total of $3 million. $3 million at 4%, let's just say interest rates are still only at 4%, gives you approximately $12,000 a month right in there for you to be able to live on. Now, depending on how you do this, some of it will be after tax, some of it will be before tax. Many of you may be watching right now and going, but Susie, they're going to have $1.3 million in a 401k plan. They can't access that money before they're 59 and a half without penalty. That is not true, people. As long as you leave that money in your 401k plan, and now you have left service, you no longer work for the companies, you can take any money you want out without the 10% penalty. If you take that money and do an IRA rollover with it, you cannot touch it in any way you want until you are 59 and a half. Your expenses when you are 55 years of age should only be $5,700 a month. So we will have income of about $12,000 a month, maybe $9,000 or so after taxes, with expenses of $5,700 a month. At the age of 62, if you want, Social Security will start to kick in. You just have to make it there. But here is the real clincher, and I want you to listen to me closely. You may think that that is enough money and you will make it easily. My concern is at a 3% rate of inflation, those expenses with inflation will be $11,000 a month 24 years from now. $12,000 a month of income, $11,000 a month after inflation of expenses, cutting it close there. However, you will just have to wait to see what it really costs you at the time you get to 55. But if you follow those instructions that I just gave you, that is a serious way to your A. This is the week in the last minutes here that you just grab anything you can. You don't even care because you want to have a gift. And this is where we waste it, we blow it, and I am asking you to not do so. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. All righty, everybody. In the last few minutes of the show, this is what I want to say to you. 1 week before Christmas. So first of all, wow, it's here. Second of all, wow, you're about to blow it. It is in this week that your conviction of not spending money you don't have, your conviction of not giving gifts because you know people don't really like them when you give them and you're just wasting all this money, you succumb to the pressure, the guilt. How can you show up empty-handed? How can you do that? You're not a bad person. You don't want to look like a Scrooge. So you go out, and this is the week in the last minutes here that you just grab anything you can. You don't even care because you want to have a gift. And this is where we waste it, we blow it, and I am asking you to not do so. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to walk through those stores if you must. And when you find yourself reaching for something, as you are about to buy it, I want you to imagine me on your shoulder, screaming in your ear, "You are denied! You are denied! You can't do it! Got it? One more time, you are denied!" So just do that. Give that gift to yourself. Got it? But until next week, there's only one thing that I really want you to remember when it comes to your money, and it is this: you are denied! No, seriously, people first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe.